Hey, this is a topic I wrote about before, but I thought I'd expound on it in a video. It's the fact that I believe the Dota 2 OpTic team will outperform the EG Dota 2 team in this year from 2017 to 2018 up to and including TI 8. And there are a few reasons for that, but first I'll explain as to why I have such belief in Captain PPD. And the reason is because I rooted against him like throughout most of his career. It's not that I disliked him or that I didn't like his team or his players. I actually did like his team and players. It's just that he ended up running into my favorite teams at the time. So the All Star DK team or that Vici gaming team that was super balls out, like how Ice FY Fenrir Super. That was a very fun team to watch. Or Cloud9, which are the Eternal Artists. They play such a unique brand of Dota that it's hard. It's not as hard not to root for them. I guess it's just they're so fucking crazy. You never know what the fuck you're gonna get with Cloud9. One of them old Cloud9 games. So that's all. That's all. It's basically why because PBD he could lose. He could maybe lose to one of these teams in the upper bracket, but he'd always find a way to adapt and persevere with his team and then come back and win the entire thing. And that's basically why I give the nod to PPD as one of the all-time greats, if not the greatest leader we've ever seen in Dota 2. Such a brilliant mind for the draft, such a clutch player, he understands Dota 2 on a level that I think few people can reach. And on top of that, he has like the incredible work ethic and iron will to like forge an NA team to be the best in the world, and that's something that has to be commended. Like that's not in every other esports game. There is no equivalent to what PPD has done with this EG Dota 2 team that I know of. I'm thinking of like League of Legends, CS:GO, but I don't think there's an equivalent to what he did with this EG squad and the various iterations throughout. And now we get to the point as to why I think OpTic will be better than EG. First, EG. There are a few problems with this lineup. The biggest is the fact that they understood that they crumbled under the pressure at TI7, but instead of going towards the PPD route, because that's when they were the most clutch, and I think the further away they got from the PPD era, the more unstable they got as a team in terms of making comebacks. Instead of doing that, they went with Fear and then moved Crit to the 4. And this doesn't really solve the underlying problems. Like, they don't really have an answer as to who they want to focus on yet between Sumaila and Arteezy. It's just like a combination of the two. And Crit will probably run into the same problems I did as to not getting enough farm on the 4. And then Fear himself, I think he's just an okay 5. He's never wowed me, I guess. That's a way I can put it. And even though he has like a wide hero pool, it doesn't really mean much if like you can't get the rest of it together, because I think all the rest of it's more important. And I've seen EG at a few lands already, and his captainship isn't really like impressing me. Like I don't really know if it's his fault or how the comms work, but it's just not there for me. Like I'm just kind of about it. As for OpTic, I've seen a few of their online games, but the reason I'm believing in OpTic isn't because of what I've seen. It's just because of what I know about some of the players. I know about their philosophies of the game. So OpTic overall has a pretty decent skill set. PyCat, CCNC, Zai, PPD, and Misery. On top of that, you have like 3 guys who have been leaders of their teams. PyCat, Misery, PPD. So they understand that you have to put in hard work in order to be good. And in Misery's case, like he's like the more miserable I guess he is, the better he is. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but because this is like an up and coming team, I think he'll put in even more effort than usual. And he's always been, in my opinion, a pretty great 4 player. So between you already have a pretty good like supporting duo, and you have a bunch of good minds, and then you have like the iron will of PBD as the leader. On top of that, I think Zai was an incredible offlaner during his time on Secret. I think he literally carried that dead team on his back at that TI, and like even though that team lost, he had no he was like one of the best offlaners of that tournament regardless. And since the changes in the patch where offlaner is more similar to what it was in the past, I think he'll rise up again. And CCNC, I don't really know what to think about this guy yet. We'll have to see. I have to see him at a LAN before I'll make a strong judgment in either case. And beyond that, I think the biggest reason I'm thinking OpTic will do better is just because PPD and Misery, both as leaders and as captains, have shown a very strong ability to adapt in a tournament. And that's something you absolutely need in if you want a championship winning team. And like Misery did it at his TI 6 run. PPD has done it his entire career. You get the two of them together. I think this is going to be a very strong team. And finally, I think here's the thing. I've seen this EG lineup, like not this exact one, but like the core of this EG lineup has remained the same for a long period of time. And I kind of know where they are. And I know their ceilings. I know their pitfalls. It doesn't feel like this addition of fear and move rule swap of crit will make them a better team than they already are. Whereas this OpTic team has a bunch of potential. They can still keep going. And I think this OpTic team is much more likely to make a rule change if something isn't working. So overall, I have to say I believe OpTic will outperform EG throughout the entire Dota 2 calendar. In a final word, I guess I'll say EG should have bent the knee to PPD when they had the chance. See you later.